please, to let's take a moment of silence and reflection and appreciation for being here at Holden Beach, just for a moment. Thank you very, very much. And we'll officially call the meeting to order and officially say welcome to all of you as we start a new year together. And let's unify in our pledge to the flag to my right. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Those of you that may not know, the table all the way to that corner has documents that are used to go through the meeting, including an agenda, and help yourself to anything that's on that table to help enjoy the meeting. And the other thing is you cannot hear if you will raise your hand. The person speaking, I will try to recommend that they speak up, including myself. So just raise your hand if you can't hear or understand what's being said. So with that, we're on item number 4 of the agenda and the consideration of approving the agenda. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Oh, Ms. Ferguson.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Dyer couldn't be here, Mayor Pro Tem Dyer, and she asked that we call her for the meeting, so if I could just have a moment to call her.
All righty. My understanding is the reason she's not here, she's in a required meeting for veterinarians, that there was no ability on her part to change.
Yes, sir. That's my understanding.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Yeah,
Welcome.
thank you.
All right, we're on, let's see, we had a motion and made and seconded, and now all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. The agenda as presented is approved. Number 5 is the public comment, and I have a list of people that have signed up. At this time, you can speak on anything on the agenda. Later on in the meeting, you may speak to items not on the agenda. And the first person, Stephen Carpat, how do you pronounce that? Carbelk.
He's the one who submitted an online comment that might not be here, but he had asked that we put his name down, so
yeah,
he might not.
All right. Irving Woods, if you will come speak into the microphone and address the commissioners, please. Tell us your name and where your property is.
Good day. I'm Irvin Woods, owner of property at 289 Ocean Boulevard East. That's part of a 2-block area that I call isolated OBE. As you're driving down Ocean Boulevard, jog over to the ocean, or you bear left on McCray. The item I'm discussing tonight is the stormwater management plan. The proposal, as I read it, for that 2-block section calls for swales, which is a educated name for a ditch, swales along between the sidewalk, which is on the north side of Ocean Boulevard East, between the sidewalk and the houses. All of the lots there in that 2-block are 50-foot wide lots. The bulk of the driveways into those lots is 20 to 25 feet wide. The owners, even though the town owns and has the right to deal with 15 feet or whatever, the owners of those two blocks maintain their driveways, maintain their landscaping, it's not on your nickel, it's not on your staff to deal with. The proposal to do swales is highly inappropriate in that neighborhood. The alternate plan is the next time you're down on the east end, starting somewhere before you get to Ferry, and there's about at least a 3 or 4 block section there where the drainage is all depressed into concrete, into iron depressed drain pipes. I shot a picture a while ago. I showed it to a couple of the members at that house with the big chimney that looks like L.C. Lynch's house. That is an appropriate way to handle the stormwater in our neighborhood. It won't interfere with the ingress and egress to the lots. And I don't know how wide of the 50-foot width, I don't know how much of that is anticipated by the engineers to be swale, whether it's 20% or 50% of the distance. But I don't know where any of y'all live. I don't know if you got swales or ditches in your front yard or not. There are better ways to handle the water down there. And frankly, from the half a dozen people that I'm representing here tonight, and I'll provide names and addresses to the clerk, of the people that I've talked to in the last 24 hours, most of us would rather no solution than a bad solution. And the fact is, the way that unpaved street, there used to be pavement underneath, the fact that we've got 2 nice dunes there now, those dunes actually act like sand fences. So as the sand blows across the dunes, it comes down on the road. The road is always covered with sand, which is fine with me. The mud holes that we've had forever are not going to be solved by either swales or these drains that I would recommend. If you elevate the road so it does drain to those, the sidewalks will become mud and will be in worse condition than we are now. I know what you're voting on tonight is not subject to amendment about what how the drainage is done, but let me tell you that those of us in that 2-block area, and I've owned in that 2-block area for 25 years, from one end to the other. I would venture to say that Alan Holden and I know more about that 2-block section than anybody else on Holden Beach. I admonish you to try to find a way to either strip out the solution or do a better solution similar to what has already been in place in at least 3 or 4 blocks that comes up and intersects that area.
Thank you, sir. I hate to cut you off because what you're saying makes sense. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Mayor, I just want to note that he wasn't being rude. He's hard of hearing, and I know he didn't hear that sound. So I didn't want everybody to think you just,
okay.
yeah.
All right, thanks. Maria, surprise?
Good evening, Maria Surprise, 159 Ocean Boulevard East. I submitted written comments earlier on agenda items 9 and 12, and if you're interested in what I had to say, you can go read them. What I want to make sure, I just have a little edit for my written comments, because subsequent to that, I reached out to Commissioner Smith and Commissioner Pate, and separately, we both had great conversations, and we cleared everything up, because what's crystal clear in my mind from Election Day is maybe less so in theirs. And if you've ever seen the movie Rashomon, you know memory is a tricky thing, and you ask 4 different people what was said. But one thing we did all agree on is to hold each other accountable. And so I just want to say thank you for taking my call. And I'm going to fight for the land, because the land doesn't have a voice. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Stripling? Welcome.
Thanks, John Strickland, 269 Ocean Boulevard East. So I'm just supporting everything that Irv just said, and I've had many conversations with our neighbors as well. I have a few concerns about the proposed solution, the swale that are described. I do think that it will take up a good amount of space of people's driveways, so that's of concern. Mainly, most of us that own houses can work around some things, but the renters that are coming, we can't necessarily control how they park, how considerate they are, and I wouldn't want anybody to back into a swale or any hazard in sort of that nature. The other thing that I'm concerned about is because there has been standing water in the street, and certainly 2 lots that are being developed now, 2 houses down from my house, there was standing water for almost an entire summer, and the mosquitoes were so bad. And so I don't know if swales immediately drain or if there would be the potential for standing water in the swales as that water is absorbed. If it's going to be standing water for any point of time, it may produce mosquitoes again. And then lastly, it's really more of a concern around aesthetics. I also drove up and down Ocean Boulevard East and saw lots of the storm grates that Irv was describing, and they're so minimal. They're so, they blend right into the scenery, and they look very tasteful. And I think you've worked really hard to develop sort of the look of Holden Beach and to keep it really simple and natural and family friendly and all those things. I think a swale would stand out in terms of a difference in the way that Ocean Boulevard East looks down the rest of the beach versus how it would look on our little 2-block neighborhood. And it's a wonderful neighborhood and we love it. We just want to keep it safe for everybody and very nice, very pleasing. So thank you.
Thank you. Did we miss anyone that thinks that they signed up? Because that's the end of my list. We thank you all for your comments. Okay, number 6 on the agenda, consent agenda. Chair is looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move we approve the consent agenda items as presented.
Need a second, please?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. It's unanimous. We're on number 7. Ms. Fennell?
For 30.27 of the Holden Beach Code of Ordinances, the commissioners shall be appointed to the audit committee in January of each year. So the board can vote by ballot that I put at your places. You can vote out loud or however you guys desire.
Anybody want to talk about it?
I think there's been some concern or some questions about, I think, the viability or whether we even should have a commissioner on the audit committee, and maybe some other things that maybe we might want to look at as far as the scope of work for the audit committee, those kinds of things. I would like to suggest that we not appoint a commissioner at this meeting, and we can defer that to the February meeting so that we can come back with some suggested changes to the ordinance for the audit committee to look at that composition of membership as well as the overall scope of work for the audit committee. I was wondering if we can just do that, defer that to the next meeting to do that.
Well, there's a couple ways you can approach it. We can try to get a consensus, or you can put a motion and see if it passes or fails.
Okay.
Whichever approach you want to go.
Oh, we too preliminary to discuss?
Yeah.
Well, I'll get it in the form of a motion then. Can I do that?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to put it in the form of a motion that we delay the appointment of the commissioner to the audit committee until the February meeting, at which time we can come back with some recommended changes to the scope of work and the composition of the audit committee, which will make it necessary that we make changes to the ordinance.
I'm going to second it for discussion.
All right. You're the maker of the motion. Want to discuss it first?
As I said from the beginning, I think I just would like for us to kind of take a look at that committee. My thinking is that we do have a commissioner on there. Tom currently serves on there. It serves on that committee, and we don't have any commissioners on any of our other committees. And I just, from having served on committees myself, to me, if the board appoints the commissioners of the committee and they give us a task to do, and then the commissioners are serving on the board itself. It's kind of like, you feel like they're kind of like hovering over you or standing over your shoulder to see what you're doing, that you're getting their job done. That's just the way I kind of perceived it from having served on committees before. So I was thinking that since we don't have commissioners on any of the other committees, maybe we don't necessarily need to have a commissioner on the audit committee either. So maybe we do need to look at that composition of the committee if we were going to change that, because it does prescribe the number of folks that need to be on that committee. And then just while we're doing that, just kind of take a look at the overall scope of work for that particular committee. That was what I was thinking in terms of.
Anybody else want to comment?
Yeah,
Can I speak?
Yes, ma'am.
I support Sylvia in this matter. I think I agree with her in that our other committees don't have a commissioner, and the function of the audit committee is to review the audit, and I think it's losing some sight into what they're doing, and I think we need to go back to what the purpose of the audit committee is. And I just don't think that it's necessary that we have a commissioner on that position. So I agree with Sylvia. Thank you.
Go ahead.
my concern is this, and I think I'd like to ask the clerk if that's possible. And basically, according to our ordinance that's here, it says 30.27. It says a commissioner shall be appointed to the audit committee on January. I don't see wiggle room unless I'm missing something. I mean, I'm not saying that I would agree or disagree with the thought process, but I think the better path is to appoint somebody, and then if we want to change it later, we can do that.
I could see it either way, to be honest with you. It does say shall, so you really should be putting
Mandated.
somebody on there. If you're telling me that you're gonna change it next month, I get where you're going. You could just leave the current member on there if you want to. You could appoint somebody new, but yes, if you want to follow the actual verbiage of the current one, you probably would need to have somebody appointed.
I'd like, with permission of the commissioners, I'd like to make a suggestion.
Yes, sir.
Maybe a substitute motion to allow the existing representative continue until February. That would work, solve the problem.
And then would you also like me to, because we'd still have to change the ordinance in February, so I'd have to prepare it. So I guess that would be with the direction for me to prepare an ordinance to remove the commissioner from the committee, if that works for the board.
Can I get a consensus on that? Everybody understand what we're saying?
We're not agreeing tonight to remove anybody, are we? We're just saying we're going to discuss it, and you bring if it passes, you'll have the ordinance ready to go. Yeah, I would approve that.
Can I ask for a clarification as well? I'm sorry,
No.
Mr. Mayor. So the only thing that you're looking at changing in the ordinance is just removing, possibility of removing the commissioner from that? Because you said other changes, and that's why we would need to, before we could do an ordinance, we would need to sort of have an idea of what those were.
Here, I would like to put as far as my thought process, this coming Thursday and Friday, we attend our training for newly elected officials. And so there may be things that I'm not aware of, that I'm just ignorant. And so I'd rather not be ignorant when making decisions. Sounds like a structural change that maybe I'm not aware of all the options.
Tom, you want to say anything?
Sorry.
You want to say anything?
No, I'm currently serving. I'd be glad to serve for another month.
Okay.
When do they meet again?
It has not been scheduled. We met on Friday, and I think we're going to meet before the February meeting. We actually are out of order here.
Gotcha. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. We completed the taskers that were assigned, so we're positioned to present those back to the board. So that would probably be a good time in February to receive the taskers and make decisions.
If I may help the commissioners, as I understand it, the solution would be the motion to allow the continuation of the person serving now until the meeting in February, at which time the clerk will bring a proposed ordinance for consideration of passage at the February meeting. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So with that, I'm gonna ask you to vote. The motion. Do we have a motion, madam?
Substitute motion.
If the motion maker and the second agree with your motion, I mean, I'm good with that, with your
I'm good
change,
with
the
it.
amended
Yeah,
motion.
I'm good with it.
Okay. Or can I just get a consensus to be done?
Let's do
I think
that.
that's
All right,
absolutely fine.
consensus, good.
Consensus.
Consensus is that motion passes. All right.
Yes.
Moving on. Does the audience understand what we did?
We understand.
I understand what we did.
Yeah, we did.
All right. All right, number 8. Ms. Ferguson?
And just for the record, this is Chris's stormwater project. I'm not gonna let him forget that, but because he's pretty new and coming in the middle of the administrative stuff, I'm gonna take this one for tonight. So, you're quite welcome. So we sent out an RFQ for engineering services for the stormwater plan that was approved. And that has been on the street for over a year. And the 2 projects that were identified in the plan has gone forward to the core. It's time for engineering services to take place. We did talk to several engineering firms, and based on the response back, we do suggest that you choose McGill for their engineering services. The next step would be for them to give us a contract that the staff would bring back to you. And based on the timeline identified in this proposal, staff is also suggesting that you guys would need to schedule a special meeting before the February meeting. So I would ask that you provide your availability to Heather so that we can try to get that scheduled, just based on timing.
Is that in reference to that timeline that's presented on page 8?
Yes,
Okay.
where it outlines 19 months from start to finish.
Yeah. So that puts us working in the summer, is that correct?
That's kind of what we're going to be constrained to. I know it's not ideal, but we're under a timeline from the core, so.
Okay. So that basically it's 300 block and the east end. Those are the 2 areas. And so we're going to have to do some kind of workaround, which we have Brunswick Avenue, I guess. Well, okay.
Anyone want to speak to the matter?
Is McGill with us tonight?
Is Michael here tonight or anybody from McGill?
I looked real quick, I didn't see him. You need a motion or something to discuss? Okay. Make a motion that the staff directs McGill to bring back a contract for consideration as soon as possible.
Have a motion, is there a second?
I second.
Discussion?
When a couple residents on East End brought up the swells. Is that part of their engineering package? That's the direction they have to go, or is there any kind of wiggle room in that process?
It's my understanding there's no wiggle room in this, and Brian shaking his head, the 3 of us had a meeting with the Corps, but also when the Corps came and talked to the previous board about this project, they explained that there was another project in another state that deviated from the plans and specs that had been submitted, and they lost all the funding. So this is what's going forward. It's been in the plan, and it's my understanding if we deviate from that and change things up, that you're gonna lose your funding.
100% of it.
They said they
Potentially.
lost the funding.
Potentially.
That's the words they used. Either of you want to check?
Yep. It's hard when you're dealing with, in my opinion, when you're dealing with landscaping and swells and what someone's idea of a swell is versus another one in a ditch and all of that. You know, if it's on your property, you know, ditches don't mean much unless it's your ditch. And so I understand the concerns. If there was I don't know of a better way for us to migrate that information to them, because I don't think we have a lot of it, like the swell design we don't have, correct?
No, we do.
Oh, you do?
I'm sorry, it's 4 foot wide and 1 foot, 4 foot wide, 1 foot deep.
Do you know if it's designed to retain or convey water?
Convey water, but it's designed to move water wet.
So it's not a retention pond.
No.
Okay. So I mean, I'm just asking for clarification. So I got Pictionary going on behind you. I don't know what you mean. So 4 foot. So 4 foot wide, 1 foot deep, and it's meant to be graded and convey. But yeah, that's the design anyway. Okay. And if we were to switch to pipe and grate, that would fundamentally change the
Everything that went in.
Okay. That's all I got.
I mean, it's tough. I mean, I understand the concerns of the citizens that have brought their, their concerns forward, but I'm not an engineer, and this project has been out there for a long time, and they utilize, I guess, their expertise and try to devise the most, I guess, efficient and the best method to solve the problem. So I guess I don't feel comfortable, I guess, in questioning their expertise on that. It's tough. But I think I tend to have to go with the recommendation, especially if we're subject to lose the funding because we don't want to lose that funding. And I know the other spot that is really bad when it floods, and so I know we don't want to risk losing that. I know Mr. Bauer don't want to keep having a lake in front of his house. So I think those are two really precarious spots. So I think we probably need to have to go forward with it. It's my thinking.
Tom,
We're all in the same boat. I really wish there had been more opportunity to provide input on the designs. So we are where we are, because I don't know how we got locked in, but it sounds like we're locked in. It's either all or nothing at this point. But I think going forward, we definitely need to communicate that we're making decisions we're going to have to live with, because I have questions on the area too. Same issue. I think there are things that I've got concerns about, but I don't know that I'll have a chance to even raise them. So we are where we are.
Dr. Dyer, do you have any comments?
Can Christy remind us about the amount of funding we have that we're receiving for this?
Yeah, the total project's 2.9 million, and the Corps reimburses the town 75% of that cost, as long as we follow and play in the right sandbox.
Well, I feel like stormwater is something we've been working on for several years now, and the plans that we've been pretty open with, and I just, with that amount of funding and the work that the engineers and the architects have put into it, I feel that stormwater has been a huge issue for us, and I think we would having to move forward at this point.
Yes, sir.
Is there any moratorium following the completion of this work that would prohibit us from going back and making changes if we saw anything that we could improve on at a later date?
That would be a question for contracting between our legal and their legal, and I can't answer that from the podium right now.
Okay. Well, and my thought process is this. I think once you complete the project, you basically have a 4 foot wide, 1 foot swell. And it's my understanding they're going to use culverts under driveways. Okay. So we already have some piping there, and it will be on grade. And so the worst case is you come back after, if there is a moratorium, you come back in and install pipes if that's what happens. But right now it looks like we get free whatever 75% of 2.9 million is. And I think, Tom, that's part of the constraint is we're accepting the money, but they don't want us to make a whole lot of changes. But as long as it's not in perpetuity.
I'm not gonna make my head
No,
go up and down on that.
I know. But I mean, I think given that amount of assistance that they're gonna give us, and the fact that, like Ms. Dyer said, that they've been working on this for a while and it is a problem, then, I mean, I made the motion, so I think I support it, so.
Yeah, and the project descriptions have really been out since, I know that the old board explored it in the last budget workshops, because they were emailed out and then discussed in workshop as well, so we kind of circled the wagons on this a couple of times before the core agreement was signed.
One bit of information I feel like I need to put forth in regards to grates along Ocean Boulevard. The grates that you have taken pictures of and presented to us, that's a project that was done decades ago, before there were regulations about taking the water from the street to the waterway. You can't do that anymore. And that's the reason there are no more projects like that. They do work well, but environmental rules prevent it.
Where's the water going to the swale?
Well, I can't debate with you, but I'm not an engineer, but you take a water hose and you turn it on and put it out there and it just goes straight down. That's the only answer I got for you, but though the grates and the pipes going to the waterway work. And what I don't understand is, you go to Myrtle Beach or some of these other beaches nearby. I know South Carolina's a different state, but they have pipes running from their equivalent of our Ocean Boulevard, dumping the water right in the ocean front. And under the frontal dune, out on the beach strand, and then they've got pipes or stakes sticking up out there, so when you're swimming, you can get hurt on them. They can do all that, but we are not allowed in North Carolina to continue to do what was done back decades ago that works. So, with that little bit of knowledge, that's one avenue we can't go down. Are you ready to vote? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, passes unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Ferguson. Mr. Evans, Town Manager Chadwick, which one of you gonna? We're on number 9.
Say what? Me first. Actually, I don't need anything, so you got all the stuff.
Okay, we're gonna talk about Block Q.
Okay. Look, Tim and his staff have worked extremely hard on this right here to make sure that we're bringing something back to you. 2 different options, and he's going to go into it, but we okay, got it. Oh, right there. Okay.
He's not allowed unless I ask him. So he's got a failure rate and we're trying to lose it.
Well, the staff knows how y'all have wanted to promote this, and that's the reason it is coming back. I think both options are great, and so I'm gonna leave it to Tim to take it over.
All right. I think at the last meeting, y'all asked us to give you some deliverables. I give you the deliverables. What's up on the screen now is the site plan. We don't have a site plan on the wall, but if you can see these 2 screens, there's a site plan up there. We can move that a little bit left and right. I think you see where the parameters are. If you don't like the location, we can move that. Can you go to the next screen? We have 2 options for you. They're hanging on the wall. We have option A and B. Both of them are the actual same structure, except for one of them has a cupola on it to match the structures that we already have out there. It's fully 100% ornamental, but it does add architectural character to the building. And staff is in favor of the one with the cupola.
The structure is actually 40 by 40. And then the dance floor is also 40 by 40. Okay, which we had to take into consideration some stormwater issues there, as we have a state stormwater permit that flushes out once we reach 10,000 square feet of impervious area. If we reach that, then we're going to have to activate that major state stormwater permit. This structure, if you choose to go with this layout, this structure will provide you a venue as big, but just a little bit bigger than what we originally had. It also is designed to cater to the folks that come do our concerts. It meets the handicap requirements for ADA compliance and fits into our new ADA assessment program. It comes with parking places in the rear for the folks that will be putting on the concerts for loading and unloading. And it is in a close position to the current bathrooms that we are working on as we speak. It will be a post-construction. It will be a pile construction. It will be specifically designed to handle the location where it's at and to meet our NFIP guidelines, which is why it's built the way it is. David Woods is who actually did most of the work. All we did was beg him to hurry up and get it done, and give him some ideas and some other things. He's done a wonderful job for the town. I think this is what y'all asked for. Y'all need to decide if you want to go forward with it. And if you do decide to go forward with it, then we are in a position, I think the way we're handling it now, we're in a position to get the engineering done, put some design work, and then put it out for proposals. You know, whether that's one time or two times, it'll depend on the bids that we get back. I think it also, this is a truss design, so it's going to be up when you walk under it. It's not going to look like the old one. It's going to have like a vaulted ceiling in it, and we're going to seal all the beams. And it's going to have what kind of ceiling? It's going to be a hip inside, tongue and groove. So when you look up, it's also going to be tall enough to take the Christmas tree. That's what Christy asked for. So I think that if you take a look at it, for anybody that hadn't had a chance to look at it, I think it will fit in over there nicely. We have placed louvers on the back. And if you're looking from Quentin Street, then, if you're actually on the Quentin Street side, the louvers go all the way down for privacy for the property owners on that side. And if you're on the Jordan Boulevard side, then the louvers only go one bay so that folks can sit out to the left and in front and see the band. And if you choose, we can take down one on the other side as well. But I think that we need to try to give some privacy to folks on the left-hand side. The whole structure was designed with the idea that we would have an open concert venue that would work within the NFIP and the town's rules and ordinances. If anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
How high off the ground is the stage actually?
2 feet.
2 feet, okay.
Yeah, we're going to try to keep it as low as we can because this is an AE area. And if you look at the way David has designed it, we've had numerous discussions about it. It is designed so that it will be the least obstructive during a storm. Basically, it'll be designed so that if a storm does hit it, we should end up with a roof and structural members left. In other words, we could rebuild it fairly easy. The whole idea of the NFIP is a storm be able to hit something and you be able to put it back at minimum cost or with minimum damage. And so that's the way we design. It's also going to have a composite decking. There'll be no screws, no nails on the stage itself. And anywhere that they have to drill,
then they'll have to plug those holes. They'll have to offset, have to inset them and then plug those holes. It's very well thought out of. It's got, we've already talked about the design for the electrical. We've already talked about the design for the services. And I think that this would be easy for us. We also had to take that into account. Be easy for us to build, put on the ground, and so that the town can provide those entertaining services that we have in the past in a really good venue. And once again, if you have any questions, I'm glad to answer.
Tim, the site plan has this U-shaped stormwater retention basin. Is that for the pavilion or is that the carryover?
That is no, that is actually to show you the location of where the state stormwater permit requires that retention area. Now, that retention area could be several things as long as we keep it on site. We can amend that plan, the original state plan permit if we want. This one will do just like we did with the bathrooms. We will use the town's designated stormwater design, and we will retain this on site in the ground, which is what we did at the bathrooms.
Okay.
So, but we don't get any relief from the 10,000 square feet, but we can go up that much before we have to activate that thing. Now, I do know there was some question about adding new impervious area on this site. Remember, when this site is developed as it's supposed to be, we are removing more impervious area than we are adding. We've got an entire road that has to come out. I don't think people realize how big that area is. When you stand in the front, you got to remember the road's going away, and we're going all the way to where that transformer is on the far left and up that right of way on the south shore.
So based on what I'm hearing you say is there's a 10,000 cap, so to speak, that you
Yeah.
can handle things locally.
That's
Once you exceed that 10,000, then you'll move to that state permit that's
You don't have
there.
any choice.
Okay,
Because you've got more than an acre of land disturbing activity there.
right.
And once we breach that threshold, then we're going to have to actually implement that state permit. Now, what I'm not clear about, which I should know, and I haven't checked yet, is whether we get a reduction on the design, but I don't believe we do.
Talking about because we're retaining
Yeah,
it.
I don't
Okay.
believe we do, but we can amend it if we start doing other things. We don't have to, it necessarily, if we contain a lot of our stormwater in the ground, then it may be that we can reduce the size of those retention areas. So I feel sure no matter what we do, that we're going to be able to reduce some of those retention areas because we're going to be putting most of the impervious area that we never accounted for before in the ground, and then we're going to be able to, then work with that and what we design into the plan later, and that'll come much later.
So by putting the stormwater in the ground, kind of what you're doing, new construction, whatever, we're really not putting a load on the stormwater system. Is that correct? Or a minimal load?
You can't count it, you can't take it out of the load. Anything that may or may not be there is going to be in that 1 acre stormwater permit, but you might get a reduction in what you have to do to the site.
I'm just saying you're not affecting your neighbors as much because you're keeping it on
You're not going
property.
to affect the neighbors at all. We're following
That's-
our state,
That's
what we call a phase 2 stormwater design, which means that any impervious area that we create, we put in the ground.
right.
And now we don't get that option once we just go above 10,000 or more than that. We won't have that. We'll have to get it engineered to design and approve.
For a simple explanation, that for me is what I'm thinking in my head is, yes, you're going to hard top the ground, but there's going to be a drain somewhere around that. It's going to collect that and just put it up underneath it.
Just like we did for the bathrooms. All of your impervious area on the top will go into gutters, which will go into containers in the ground and be contained on site. The stormwater from the thing will probably also have its own drainage system like we did at the bathrooms. There'll be a grate out there somewhere and it will actually be, designed so the water will flow into that.
Has all these parcels been joined?
Yes,
Okay.
all the parcels. I think we recorded the map. When did we record the map? It's on that. It's actually on it's on the site plan I don't have with.
They officially accepted it, mid-December,
Yeah.
finally.
And the parking spaces, the walkway, it says pervious concrete, but the dance floor says concrete. Is the dance floor pervious or impervious?
Dance floor is impervious. because you won't be able to dance on pervious concrete.
Right.
Okay.
Everything, all the rest of the concrete will end up being, pervious. Any other areas that we have to make concrete outside will be pervious, concrete.
Is there an advantage to having pervious versus impervious if we're containing stormwater anyway? Because I know the cost is different.
Yeah, I mean, but you're not gonna be, you don't wanna do the dance floor. But
No, I'm the other way.
Well, I mean, the advantage is that your containment system don't have to be as large.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and the most important is, it helps me keep our impervious area under 10,000 square feet.
Okay.
Was there any,
Can I,
Yeah.
can I make a comment?
Yeah, go ahead, Doc.
Thank you. I want to just, say to the staff, I'm just thrilled, with the work you've done. I think David Wood has put an excellent drawing out for us. As you all know, this is a project that's been near dear to my heart for over a year. And this is a project that we wanted to see at Block Q. And I really am happy that we're moving forward. This will be a beautiful venue for not only the dances, the concerts, other events that we have, the festivals that we have, and I think it's going to be a great addition to Block Q into the town. And I really appreciate everyone's work on this, and I hope we can move forward.
Ms. Page.
I was gonna just ask, just as a point of clarification, because it's been brought up to me, the dance floor itself, are there considerations given for any other type of material rather than using the concrete?
We looked at those, and every one of them was extremely expensive.
Figured so, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't, a lot of these other towns have got big money.
What is it from the, I'm just curious because I want to know, but from the floor to the stage in the middle, very middle of it, what's the height there? How tall is that?
You talking about to the height? David, how high?
I know you
is
say
it
you can
gonna
fit the
be?
Christmas tree there.
What we've done is we've designed it. I don't think we've ever considered the height. We were
I was
more
just
worried
curious.
about what was down low for
Okay.
floodplain management.
Okay.
We do know that the lowest horizontal members on the roof are above the DFE. We can tell you that,
And it's not over 45 feet tall.
and it's not over 45 feet tall, or 30, yeah, 45.
Wow. Yeah.
It's not even close.
How tall
Well,
is
that's
the tree?
just the E. What's this spruce look like?
At least 14 feet. then.
No, it's true. How tall it looks.
Yeah, you talking about inside?
Okay.
Any more comments, questions from the commission?
Do you think that this is gonna come in within the budgeted number that we have for that? Who would know that?
Well,
I would encourage, be careful talking about the numbers, because you can put it out for bids and you don't
Oh,
want to know
that's
how
true.
much money you're thinking about spending.
I got you.
Well, from an aesthetics point of view, I like the cupola on it. Do you think that that would increase the price of it that much more? I mean, aesthetically, I think it looks
it's not.
wonderful.
It's not.
Not much. Okay.
No, the aesthetics is gonna be worth a lot more than what
What do
that,
you
the
call it?
value, that's not gonna be a hard item to either put money into or to build.
Gotcha.
So this really just sitting. there.
Yeah.
It's not-
Yeah. Just for looks.
I think the last thing I would like to say is, worked on Parks and Rec 2 years ago, and we went through this, and where you placed it at was not arbitrary, from my understanding. We had an engineer do a whole presentation, modified the sun, all the kind of directions, and so that was his place where he thought that would be the best place for it to go. So I like seeing it where it's at. So I'm ready whenever you are.
Ms. Ferguson, do you have any comments? I know you're the person that has to work with all this stuff.
No, sir, I've been providing comments to Mr. Evans and his team along the way. I will say that research into your cost question for anything other than concrete was a 3-time multiplier with comps to comparable designs that have been discussed in here in the past.
Any more questions or comments? What's the pleasure? You want to?
Like the information.
All right.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the elevation A design and direct the staff to move forward with the project.
A second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Unanimously approved. Okay, thank you, Ms. Evans. We're on number 10, Ms. Ferguson.
Sir, hopefully this one will be a little bit easier than the last one. We are a part of the Coastal Advocacy Network with American Shore and Beach Preservation Association. They are celebrating their 100th anniversary this year. As one of the local government liaisons that's working with them, I will be at our local Brunswick Beaches meetings asking for other municipalities to do the same thing that I'm putting before you guys tonight. But in order to help them commemorate their 100th anniversary, and because they have been such an advocate to connect science and policy for our beaches, I have a resolution for your consideration. And I will not read the extent of the resolution because I'm sure you all read it before you came.
Yep, every word of it. Is there someone that'd like to put forth a motion?
I'll make a motion that we adopt the resolution commemorating the 100th anniversary of the American Shore and Beach Preservation Association.
A second. All right, Tom, second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Unanimously passed. We're on number 11. Ms. Fennel?
We have received the updated fees assessed by GFL for people who utilize the voluntary curbside recycling program. The annual 2026 cost for people participating in the program will be $122.93 per bin. And we just need to update the fee schedule to amend it to the new amount. So we recommend you approve resolution 2602.
Is there such a motion?
Make a motion, we approve resolution 2602.
Need a second.
I'll second.
Discussion, anyone? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Unanimously passed. We're on number 12, and that is me. And discuss some possible action in regards to paid parking. As evidenced in the package that we have received tonight, including comments from the public as well as oral comments and actions in the past from our audience. I think the town needs to at least review and study the income monthly and yearly and see if there's any way in the world that we can give consideration to so many requests for allowing some sort of relief in the year-round full charge, same amount of money every month, or even maybe not charging some of the time in the winter time or whatever. But the reason this is on the agenda is to ask for future discussion and review of financially where we are on the income and the usage. And I probably would like to announce that I'm going to probably put this on the request to be on the agenda for the next meeting to further discuss this. And but I think we need some more information before we take action. And that's the reason on the agenda does not reflect action. It reflects discussion. So we've got hopefully another month to look at the information we can get and ask you people that are attending this meeting to share with your friends, to come and share their thoughts about it. The town has heard from the public and the property owners a need for further discussion and review of what we're doing and possibly considering any changes. Doesn't mean we're going to make any changes, but an update and understanding where we are. So that's the purpose of that being on the agenda. So with that, and since there's no action, and I'm assuming no one wants to put forth a motion, you can always do that. But with that, I would just simply move to public comments, number 13 on the agenda. And at this time, if you raise your hand and be recognized, come forth, speak to the microphone. You can speak about whatever, it does not have to be an item on the agenda. Yes, sir.
Jim Bauer, 329 Ocean Boulevard West. Basically, both of these items are water-based. Number one, the item 8, I hear about the flooding. I can understand about the flooding. But we do have, and we should have even more emergency pumping ability, where what we can do, yes, we can't, on a regular storm, we can not just put it into the ICW or put it into the Atlantic. But if it's a named storm, or if the governor declares a state of emergency, we certainly can pump into the ICW. We certainly can pump into the Atlantic. That's allowed. That's legal. The EPA says so. So I know for a fact we have pumps here that have been, to say the least, underutilized on the last couple of major storms. What we should do is we should spread this out and make it so that the emergency pumps, when they're needed, if they're needed, can be used. I also suggested that there are so many people here. The amount of degrees and the amount of practical experience in this room is probably incredible. And what you could do is, if you needed people on an emergency basis to sign a hold harmless and to run a pump, or to sit next to a pump while it runs until it pumps out all the water out of there, that would be great. Second, this design. Any of you know me, I've been coming here now and speaking my mind. If we are going to go down this route, where I think we should have gotten a portable one that fits on the back of a trailer and folds open, and then we could have had concerts wherever, and we could move it around. But if we're going to go with this one, why does it need a roof? If it's going to be raining out or inclement out, who's going to be out there dancing for a band? We're going to cancel it due to inclement weather. So I can understand that you want to build a stage. Okay. But why does it need a roof? Why does it need a cupola? What you can do is you can look up on your phone right now, tensile fabric structures. They're normally triangular, but they can be any shape. They're usually super reinforced, almost like a heavy-duty sailcloth material. That could be the roof to keep the band's equipment dry in case there was a drizzle. And if a Cat 3 or Cat 4 or Cat 5 comes through here, we pull it down, and then it's just the floor with bare poles sticking up. Less to build, less money, and then less to repair once the storm is through. I thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak? Yes, sir.
Will Carter, 108 Starfish Drive. Last month when we were here, my buddy Tim Bauer was talking about the results of the pier bond referendum. And he said, that we didn't get enough votes for the pier bond, so that might mean that we don't want to have a pier. Well, I'd like to say that I didn't vote for the pier bond referendum but I really do want a pier. And what I voted against was an incomplete plan. And we need something better. And 2 years ago, I came and talked to the mayor pro tem elect. Talked to him for about an hour about Surfside and how they got an advisory group together, and the citizens helped the commissioners create a plan for a pier. And I believe that that was in 2024. In 2022, I came here and told you that there wasn't any use in trying to revive the old pier building or the pier. So now it's 2026, and just hoping that the new council will understand that we elected you to be representatives of the people and try and get some things done, not to be contractors and not to build anything or design anything. So if we could, I'd like to do Surfside Beach built their pier in 2 years. And so I would ask that we get together a group of people. There's a lot of smart people around here that can really help, and a group of citizens that are actually going to pay for it and use it would be a good thing to have. And so I would appreciate it. And all the people that we've had problems with before, if you would help and help us raise money and help give ideas for a new pier complex, that would be good. we voted 60-40 for the only two people that were running that realized that a pier was needed at Holden Beach. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Hello, I'm John Woods. I'm at 159 Ocean Boulevard East. I'm part of Winding River, which is 7 lots from 157 Ocean Boulevard East to 169. And when the bike lanes were put in, we lost about 75% of our storage because we lost our swales. We have one swale left. And what McGill, the way I understand what they're planning to do is they're going to take the two, everything that's between 157 Ocean Boulevard East and where you live, and they're going to cant everything so that it drains out of the bowl. Exactly. You've been part of these meetings. You are quite helpful with us. Unfortunately, the state will not rebuild our swales. Unfortunately, but after McGill, this project will help us, and it will help you because it's going to drain the water away from the street and then away from your property down to Mullet and then out to the intercoastal. It's the best we're going to get. It really is. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Oh, one more thing. If you live on the ocean front, please put 10-10-10 on your dunes. It will help. Please look at our dunes. They look fantastic. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Anyone else? Oh, I see you. Sorry, I couldn't see you way back there.
Good evening. My name is Regina Martin. I live at 1032 Ocean Boulevard West, here at this beautiful island. I would just like to ask you to think about something over a period of time, not looking for a resolve right this moment, of maybe moving our meeting time back to like a 5:30, 6 o'clock venue. And the reason I'm asking this is a lot of people who own businesses and work, they have a hard time getting here and being here promptly for a start of a meeting at 5 o'clock. I realize that those that work in Leland or Wilmington or Myrtle Beach or whatever, they can listen to it as they're driving here. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But it makes a big difference to be here. And look at this beautiful group we have tonight. This is a great turnout. But I think we'd have even a bigger turnout if we were able to move it at least to 5:30. 6 to me would be perfect, but 5:30 I'd be really happy with. And I believe a lot of other people will too, because I know I was here one night, I didn't get here almost 5:45, and there were some people that came in that actually thought the meeting didn't start till 6. So the meeting was about half over by the time those folks got here, and they had wanted to say something, but they didn't get an opportunity because they were misinformed or thought they would be here at a different time. So if y'all would just think on that for a little bit, that would be great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Last call. All right, thank you. Town manager, we're on number 14.
It's hard to come out of a tie when you're so used to, when you've been doing it for so long, so at least try to put a vest on, so not jacket and everything. As you can tell, we changed just a little bit around in the agenda, trying to keep everybody on their toes. Consent agenda items. I think staff was excited about that. If you ever have questions about anything for the staff, all you got to do is give a call, and we'll be able to we'll let you know as much information as we can, so. Do this right here. Hey, again. Just a few things, guess what? We have just started knocking out some of the stuff right now. The Ocean Boulevard Stormwater, y'all just considered that. The Block Q restroom still in process. The master plan RFQ, we've got that stuff that's going to be done. It's going to be back January 30th, and recommendation for a firm plan for the February agenda. That's what we're looking at doing. Stage area, you just made that, so that's still in process now. We're going to the next phase. The North Carolina Resilient Coastal Communities Program, information has been sent to organizations for dissemination of possible projects for community engagement. Isn't that right, Tim? You've sent it to several different ones, and they're disseminating that out to their people as well. The Southeastern Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan, the planning and inspections have been working with Brunswick and other counties in the region to update the hazard mitigation plan. Commissioners will be presented a resolution to adopt that updated plan in the coming months. And I think by April.
Yeah, we need to try to do it before April or at April. It doesn't really matter as long as any municipality or any government entity adopts the original plan within that 5-year date, because we're running out, then it'll be good for everybody, but every town will still have to adopt it. But it will make it good for everybody. We only need one town. So every municipality and every government entity that's participating in this is trying to see who can do it the fastest. So to get their resolution on the table. And so it'll be whoever has the first board meeting, is what it amounts to. So they're supposed to be sending us a copy of a canned resolution for adoption once they're completed. And it should be completed pretty soon.
Right. Okay. Halstead Park, the scope of work that was previously advertised needs to be changed to include new piles, and it has been so, and it's on the website now. We just found out that we needed to update that, so Tim took care of that. And the pier is closed due to safety until further notice. Again, as previously advertised, so just be aware that we are working on it, but because we did come back and we found something different, a different structural issue, we needed to do that. So please stay off of that, if you don't mind. Employee updates. Chief Dixon will be leaving at the end of February to take the place of the retiring chief in Shallotte. He's going to be here. He had a previously scheduled training that he needed to go to this evening, so he's going to be here next month's meeting because he's asked that he could speak. Going to miss him. Just since I've been here, just an amazing person and employee, and just a true leader. So we have the position posted, and we'll begin the process in the coming weeks once it closes, that we can start that process. And Megan Hegedor, I have had a first. She works in the water billing, and then she also handles occupancy, some of the occupancy tax, correct? She came into my office, and it's the first time somebody has said that they are leaving to go to helicopter pilot school. So I told her, I said, I have heard it all. I said, in my 25 plus years, so she is going to Savannah to helicopter pilot school. So she's been here 10 years, and she's been working on it about 6 or 7, 8 months, something like that. She just found out she got it. So that's just amazing, Upcoming town events. The town will celebrate its birthday on Friday, February 13th at noon. So contact Christy via email to pre-register. So, and if you've got questions, a couple of additions that I have for you. Strategic planning. I know 3 of you have expressed interest in the strategic planning meeting on February 18th and 19th in New Bern. Because of this, we would need to move the February meeting. Coming from working with strategic planning, I would prefer to not just have 3 of you. We'd prefer to have a strategic planning process here if you're going to do it. That way, the whole board can be involved and also staff, because that's when you start looking at strategic planning, that brings in all the players. Heather has been in contact with the Council of Governments and another organization. But I think the Council of Governments has recently, they just got back to us today. But we also have the option to have the School of Government to facilitate this as well, if we would like. My question for you tonight is if you would be interested in taking part of the one in New Bern, or if you would like the one in-house. Now, we may have to look at, we didn't budget for anything, but I know y'all have been interested in pursuing this for a number of months that we've been talking about it. So we could plan something, and it might even be in next year's. It may not be this year, but we can plan for it to take place sometime in the late summer, early fall, and get that so you can be prepared for the next budget session. Totally up to you. But if y'all still wanted to do that one in February, we would need to go ahead and talk about the meeting in February.
Looking for feedback?
Yes, the reason, yeah, if you don't.
I can do either one, but I agree, if we're not gonna get enough to go to New Bern, then we should do it. That won't work.
I think you have enough interest to go to New Bern.
Yes.
My only concern is this, and I know 2 things that I see. Number one, we'll be with other towns.
Yeah.
And while we'll work on our own project, it's still not going to be exclusively us. And I think that might be reflected in the cost. I don't know. So roughly, if we were to take and transport, 10 people? Is that what we're looking at, going staff and whoever's interested? Up to 10?
Yeah, plus probably. If we wanted to have a true.
So by the time you do that and you spend the night up there and then you've got meals and all that stuff, you get to an expensive event. Now, let's just say, and I don't know what it is, but let's just say it's $3,000, $4,000. If our own meeting, we can do it for $3,000 or $4,000. I'd rather us just do our own. If our own meeting costs $25,000, it'd be good to know that.
Right. No,
Uh,
because that would affect what I would want to do.
A preliminary cost that
Yeah,
one of them said was, did I say $5,000 or $6,000?
Yeah, it was in that range of 5,000 to 6,000.
And we get 100% of the attention, and we don't share it with anybody. It's specific for us.
And then the public can participate.
And then the public can participate. So yeah, I mean, but unless everybody drives to, they can't drive there and watch us do what we're doing there, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
What the league is doing is a good event for some municipalities that may have the limited participation and limited staffing, and so they're trying to come up with something with everybody there, so at least there could be something in place for a strategic plan. I think there's enough interest here, and to be able to get a true accounting, I think it's much better to have one here, and it's easier for everybody, so you wouldn't have to, people wouldn't have to travel.
Yeah.
So the reason I bring that up is to talk about the February meeting would need to be changed if you did that. So
I'm just gonna go ahead and declare that the consensus is we have one here, so
we can move forward. Okay. Upcoming budget. It's budget time. In preparation for the upcoming budget, we'd like you to do a couple of things. We need you to decide on your list of goals for the coming year. Please keep your individual submissions to 5 per commissioner. We will then utilize these for the first discussion, but we'll also consolidate some of them that are sort of repetitive and stuff like that to get your initial goals.
If we did a strategic plan, it would be easy to pick our goals.
That's true.
Well,
Just saying.
Well, and I think with that thought process, which we didn't mention a while ago, I know we talked about kicking it to next year, but if the strategic plan would help us identify and we could work that out, I mean, I know that's pushing a lot in a short amount of time frame, but
We would need to discuss that with the COG or somebody to see what their time frame would be.
Yeah.
Because one is you don't want to rush it too much, you know, that you want it to
flow.
Yeah, so, okay, so, and just to give you a heads up of how the budget's gonna go, real quick. The subsequent meetings will consist, after we do that at the goals, the subsequent meetings will consist of expenditures first, then revenues. So just to make sure everybody knows that's how how you start working and formulating the budget. So then, please send Heather a list of dates you would be unavailable from February until the end of April. That way we will have that ahead of time. And this will help for the planning purposes. And with that.
When do you want the list of goals? You said we each
Oh,
were gonna do
wait just a
5,
second. I
and then we
didn't
have to have that in by.
Oh, man, by I didn't write it down in here. Did we say the middle of February, the 15th of February? Let's say the 15th of February. I had that on my calendar and I didn't write it down.
That's a Sunday.
Okay, well, let's say 16th of February then.
I just know because Valentine's Day is on Saturday.
Which the next meeting is gonna be that Thursday anyway, so. Or
Okay.
excuse me, that Tuesday, it'll be the next day, sorry. Okay,
Okay.
we good? Is that fast enough?
That's good.
Oh, one more question.
On the Block Q master plan, is it a RFQ you're bringing back or RFP you're bringing back?
RFP,
Okay.
because these are for the people who will be constructing. So the RFP, we're gonna send that out, and when we come back, we're gonna have the firms. So, wait just a second, did I say something?
Are you
No,
talking about the master plan?
Oh, the master plan, oh, yeah, sorry.
Then that's an
RFQ, sorry, okay, I was thinking of the stage, I was getting ahead of myself.
Is there, and I don't want to speak out of turn, is there a requirement that you got to bring back to us the qualifications? Because I mean,
Yeah, because you will need to, approve the firm.
based on qualifications only.
Right, that's correct,
Okay. And then we ask them for a plan.
correct. And
Okay.
because they will begin to work, well, you go into a contract at that point once you.
Okay, all right.
So. Sorry, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Good. Everything all right?
Thank you, sir. All right, we're on number 15, mayor's comments. Regrettably, we received a resignation from Commissioner Thomas, and for the record, I would ask for consensus of accepting her resignation officially.
Yes, sir.
The consensus of the board. Doc, you hear that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Madam Clerk, let the record reflect. With appreciation, we accept her resignation. Remind everybody about house numbers. House numbers not only required street side, but oceanfront houses, oceanfront side of the house as well, canal houses, waterside and waterway houses, waterside, as well as the streets. So be sure to, as we go into the season, it's a good time to review the condition of or existence of your house numbers. Cold weather's coming. Anybody that's got pipes exposed, it's a good time to review those. Wintertime's still with us. And next, we've had the blessings of a lot of good employees for the town of Holden Beach through the years. Chief Dixon being one of them that we're losing. We've lost others to retirement. And also this time that we need to praise those that have been with us, not the 30-plus years or so, like some in the past, or 20-some years, but we still have a good number of people like Frank. How many years you been here, Frank?
20 and a half
20 and a half.
for the town. My whole life of it.
Yeah. You remember you used to be 15 and a half going on 16? Yeah, that kind of thing. And,
Your brother hired me, so it's my first day.
yeah. But we have a lot of good people here that have been with us a good number of years, and we appreciate them as well as the newly hireds. And we look forward to a continuation of a good town management team. So I do have some sad news. Those of you that have been around a long time recognize the name of John Quentin Holden. Tonight, we have talked about directly or indirectly Quentin Street, that he is the namesake of Quentin Street. He was the last living child of Dr. R.H. Holden, who was the Dr. R.H. Holden subdivision, which we're sitting in. He was my great uncle, and John Quentin was my cousin. So, family legacy there. I think he's the last one of that family, and so he, according to the information I got, I knew he was living in Jacksonville, Florida, because I visited him not too long ago, but he passed away in December. So John Quentin Holden was a veteran and an engineer and smart guy. So with that, we will move to the Board of Commissioners comments. Dr. Dyer.
I just want to apologize for not being able to be there in public tonight. I had a conflict I couldn't avoid, and I appreciate everyone's patience, and I want to thank the staff for their hard work, and I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Doc. Ms. Pate?
I too want to thank everybody for attending the meeting tonight in person or whether you're online, and thank you for your interest in the town of Holden Beach and helping us to try to all work together to make it a better place to live, work, and play. I feel we do need some play. Balanced philosophy. A couple items I did want to make a point of clarification on, and I do appreciate, Maria, surprise your comments tonight, because we did have a conversation earlier today, and I was a little upset when I saw the public comments that she had shared, because I did not say what she had said that I said. And so after we had a conversation about that, I felt better about that. So I'm glad that she admitted that we perhaps got some things misconstrued that day. But I will say that we talked about a lot on election day, and that I had shared that my concern was really about for pickleball courts, because I said, you know, the commissioners at that time when we were working on the initial plan didn't want to do what was proposed because they didn't want all that paving going on over there. I said, but yeah, everybody's supportive of for pickleball courts. I'm not saying I'm not supportive of pickleball courts, but I was questioning, we're going to put all that concrete over there for pickleball courts, but yet, you know, we're concerned about it. And I did say that I was supportive of the concert stage. And I guess logically I was thinking, you know, everybody would realize that we do have to need a dance floor to go along with the, you know, go along with the concert stage. So I do appreciate your publicly stating that. But I will also say, she did say in her her comments that that she and I and Chad Hawk and Keith Smith did all agree that win or lose, that we would work together for the benefit of the town. And I still feel strongly about that. And I do want us all to work together. I'm open to working with the commissioners on the board and the property owners, because I really want to do what's best for Holden Beach. I'm really tired of all the negativity, and I know a lot of you are too. So I'm trying to do that, but I just want y'all to understand that this is only my second meeting. The first meeting was kind of organizational, and you know, we have a lot of challenges and problems and issues and things that we all want to work on, and you know, we need to do some catch up on some of those, and just want y'all to realize that this is only our second meeting. We got a lot of things we need to work on, and we can't magically get all that completed in 1 or 2 meetings. So give us a little time or a little grace, if you will, so we can kind of move forward in a strategic fashion. And I really don't want to say anything about this, but I just kind of feel like I do have to say something about it. And that's about Miss Thomas's resignation. I really regret that she resigned from the board. I wish she would have represented the folks that, elected her to the board. But she made a lot of statements in her email that I thought were really totally inaccurate. And I feel like they reflected all on us as a board. And she talked about it our last meeting that it was a hostile environment. And I'm not sure I was at the last meeting that she and I were at the same meeting, because I didn't perceive that at that meeting. And and I think as we go forward and we make decisions about the pier, I don't think any decision that we as a board makes necessarily, because the bond referendum didn't pass, doesn't mean that we don't have the freedom to look at other ways that we might be able to fund that project. And I advocated that the whole time I was running for office. So I just don't feel like if we do that, that we're being in any way unethical or disingenuous, or that we're not representing the people for the town of Holden Beach. And I just, I regret to have to even say anything about that, but I just feel like, I'm honest and a person, and I consider myself to be somebody that's pretty ethical, and I just feel like I had to defend my integrity when it comes to that. But from this point forward, I just like to put the past in the past, as much as we can, because we still have to deal with stuff in the past. But let's move forward in a positive and cooperative manner. And I certainly welcome your suggestions, your comments, and your concerns. You can email me, text me, phone call me, whatever. And I've gotten a lot of those already. So I do appreciate those, and I do appreciate you coming out to the meeting. And so here we are coming up on the town's 57th birthday. And we have the opportunity to celebrate the town on February the 13th, though it's actually February the 14th. And we got Valentine's Day coming up as well. So let's just take this opportunity to kind of really come together and share a little love, and let's just kind of work together so that we really feel like this town's our happy place, because it is mine. And I thank you.
Smith.
This is a great crowd tonight. Staff does an amazing job. Appreciate for all you do. And the one thing I would like to see is, and Mr. Bauer brought it up, so if you can believe me and Bauer is going to be on the same page tonight, volunteerism. Maybe he said it a little different than what I'm saying it, but I remember having a conversation with Christy one time, not to call her call us out, but you'll remember this. We were in a meeting, and the background is I do a lot of volunteer work. Just because I'm a licensed plumber, I can go places, I can do things that other people can't do, and if they need a license, whatever. So it helps out. Me and another town person, we're in Western North Carolina this past week or week before, helping out up there. And so I asked her one day, I said, if somebody wanted to volunteer for the town, like I think there was a leak at a bathroom because we had some cold weather. I said, if somebody wanted to go by there and just crimp the line and just help out. She goes, I don't think we have an avenue to do something like that. And so I would like for us to figure out a way, as Mr. Bauer said, we have a lot of educated people in our community, a lot of experienced people in our community. Now, that means you might have somebody that thinks they know more than you want to help out. You know how that goes. But if we could figure out some way to, we have volunteers for boards. And one conflict I have with the audit committee is that we have volunteers who lend their expertise to that. And these guys are very versed with numbers, like way too deep for this spreadsheet guy. Like they know how like Excel is built, and I'm like, I just use it. That's all. So I think if we can harness or have a better way to harness our volunteers, more hands-on type stuff. Like if you had a leak, like you could call somebody and say, hey, I can't get over there, but if you could run by, help me take care of it. Mr. Bauer, need a pump run. I don't know if that's a legit deal or not, but if it is, so I'd like to see that. We do have a lot of volunteers, but we are coming up on our celebration of our birthday, and just so you know, my girls thinks it's about them because that's their adoption day. It's February 14th, and so they think we moved to the town because that was their adoption day, and so that's why we're here. So when they celebrate, y'all celebrate. So it's very confusing, and they already have big enough heads. I did want to speak about paid parking for a second. I'm glad Mayor put it on the agenda or for discussion. And, as far as looking at the numbers, the paid parking is a hot issue on social media. And I've come up, there's probably 4 different segments of people. There are people that will never be happy if they ever have to pay a dime to come to the beach parking lot. Not to mention that those people have to pay a car payment, they have to pay for their tires, they have to pay for the gas, they have to pay for the food to get, but the parking is the deal breaker. And so, and I understand where they're coming from, but it does cost to go different places. And then you have people that say, hey, if you'll just show us what you're spending the money on, we'll be happy to pay it. And I think that's where most people fall in. And so we did a recount, not a recount, we did a kind of a breakdown of what that paid parking is paid for. And if you start at the east end, you have a brand new bathroom down there with ADA accessibility, have a ramp, you have ADA parking at the end of East End, which was not there whenever I moved here just a few years ago. If you come down the boulevard, you will see kind of littered along the way new accesses, you'll see new ramps, you'll see a lot of new stainless steel handrails that cost a lot of money. All of that paid parking goes for that type of thing. And so and I don't know if it's just nobody is seeing that stuff, and maybe they don't go to the East End. Maybe the only place they go is the pier parking lot, and that's it. But even there, you've got a new ramp, you got a set of bathrooms that was never there. You've got all the ADA upgrades that's been happening over the last 2 or 3 years, and so that paid parking money is about 14% of the B Park budget, and so a lot of it goes to pay for that kind of things. And so whether we end up cutting and giving months to eliminate paid parking, or whether we better tell you what the money is being spent on, I don't know what direction that'll take, but I'm glad we're at least looking at it. And also too, when we started paid parking in this town, there was only really one game in town. You either had, or 2 games in town. You either had the meters, which got affected by salt, or you had the new program that Mr. Barnum came up with. And so, but since then, there has been other companies out there. I was just in Topsail Beach the other day. They have a different supplier for that. Wilmington has that same supplier. So there are more people in the game. So, when we're talking about it, I think we look at all of it and see kind of what we can do for not only for the town, but also for the community at large. So I'm glad we're looking at that. Thank you, Mayor. And then one last thing, I found out today that I have cronies. I didn't know I had cronies, but apparently I have cronies, and I didn't really know what a crony was. And so I asked, Miss Maria was talking, and she mentioned something about cronies, and I went, I have cronies. I've only been to 1 meeting, but I've got cronies already. And so I found out that a crony is a supporter that you met along the campaign. So apparently I do have cronies. And so if you're a crony, welcome to the club. And that's all I got to say, Mayor.
Tom, you want to follow that?
Oh, God. Thank you for coming, and thank you for being engaged.
I would like to say thank you for a wonderful report. Okay, Madam Clerk, are you alert over there? Because I'm looking for a motion to go into executive session. Yes, ma'am.
Closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318-11A3, consult with the attorney, and North Carolina General Statute 143-318-11A6, personnel.
Okay, is there somebody who wants to make a motion?
I make a motion, we go into closed session.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 And thank you all for being here. You're welcome to wait, and I don't know when we're coming out, but